Okay, the first thing I did was I cut some 30s. Actually, this one's a 40-inch, so we're going to center it at 20. These posts are 8-foot posts. They're the same steel post they use in the these are the same posts they use at the hardware stores to put pallets on. You know, big posts. They've got adjustment slots in here, and they're steel. And if I were to buy this post, I'm sure it would be $30 each. But I buy them at the wrecking yard or the steel recycle centers, and they're $8 or less each. So I've marked center on the 40-inch 2x6 and drilled 3 holes here for support. Then I have some self-drilling 3-inch screws. I'm going to mount this 40-inch 2x6 to the steel post. The steel post is mounted in the ground with concrete. Probably use a socket wrench to tighten that up, but I think that's good. That's nice and tight. Okay. I've already attached the other end of this wire to the far end of the trellis. Pull out through this little hole I drilled. Like that. Pull that over hand tight. I guess if someone were holding, or even it doesn't really need to be that tight, because we're going to set support posts along the way so that it doesn't have to hold the whole weight of the wire. But I have a fence tightener. This opens up and grabs this wire right here. I missed. Then on this end, I'll crank it up. That's pretty tight. Maybe another one. Okay, that's good. We'll pull this over. Line that up to the wire that's down there. These little cable ties are called wire rope clip 1/8 inch from Tacoma Screw Products, number 552-101. I go through a lot of these in this big garden. They're pretty nice. You can put them on with a pair of pliers. You could probably put them on finger tight, but I use a socket wrench for the little nuts. Get them started, and then use the socket wrench like a nut driver and tighten those up. Pull that back as close as we can get it to the trellis support, and tighten the nuts. Okay, so we only put wire on one side. The wire isn't on the other side yet. When we do that side, we can suck up this fence tightener just a little bit tighter than this side was, and that will pull both sides tight. You don't want to break anything. You don't want to bend the steel vertical post over. Just needs to support the wire and hold it taut. And then every 10 or 15 feet down the row, we're going to put a support T-post. Pull that off. Now this end of the wire is a little bit sharp hanging out here, so we're going to straighten it to the wire, fold it back against the wire, and probably tape that in so that it doesn't hurt anybody and snag someone's finger. Okay, a bit of a close-up here. We drilled a hole an inch in, inch and a quarter in from the end, and 3 inches down on a 2x6. Just came around and coupled that, and the wire comes down here, and that will have to be taped just so it doesn't hurt anybody. So it's just hanging freestyle there. Goes all the way to the other end where there's another T 2x6 trellis support. Like that. Those plants are planted 18 inches to 2 feet apart, and the trellis wire is probably 38 inches, spaced 38 inches from this side to that side. Here's a row of raspberries that was offset to the post slightly. At least that's how it's set up this year. So we've put more on one side of the trellis support hanging out there, kind of cantilevered it off to the right than this side. And that big 10-foot post in the middle is coming out, and we'll put shorter posts along the sides to support the wire. Okay, here's a row of raspberries. These are Polana. Both sides of the trellis wires are up, but only one side is supported with the T-posts. And they're about every 15 feet, looks like every 15 feet. So in this row there's 3 center posts and 2 end posts. Here's a fully established row of Canby thornless with a 36-inch T support, and you'll see T-posts on both sides. Here's one right here, T-post, and just across from that there's another T-post right down in there. Then 15 feet from there, there's another one. There's another post. And 3 feet from that, or 2.5 feet from that, on the other side of the established row, you just can't see. Here we can see both of them because the raspberries are a little bit thinner. That post there and this post here are only 2.5 feet apart, maybe 3 feet apart. One more set. You see the top of this one and the top of that one. About 10 feet from, there's another one fairly close to the end post right here, and then the end post. So this is a 60-foot row. You can see how these posts sometimes bend over. This is not, it's bending, and it doesn't have to, but I think it did that before we put up the middle support posts.